is a little bright, but I must tell you what the squirrel just told me about the human. You know what it takes for squirrels to make it, dude? Like, they're such a cute little animal. How do they live out there in the wild, in the wild? They run from what they do not understand. And don't that sound like the human? In order to make it, they run from what they don't understand. Whether it be a human trying to give them food, even just the slightest movement, that they cannot frame in their reference as something they understand as not a threat. Everything else is a threat. It doesn't matter if it's a threat or not. And that's how they make it. That's why they're alive. But that's what wild is. And maybe that's this method or tactic we've adopted from that part of us. And it's not something to be ashamed of, it's makes sense. It's a survival flight instinct. Very rarely is there a caveman outside of our door trying to beat our head in with a wooden bat, or some true physical threat. We move more to the emotional, etherical side, spiritual side of it, and carry over this physical threat response to our own feelings and our own thoughts about them. And where we are incapable of wording how we feel, we run from it. And unfortunately, we do not get very far. It's right behind us and projects itself right through us in an attempt to make us face it. And we do. We don't get away from how we feel. When we run from it in an attempt to, we rearrange our life circumstances in a way that it perfectly recreates the circumstances we need to experience that's going to cause us to feel that way. So often the feelings that we run from are not pleasant, and we throw them right onto the people that we care most about. Wind up, unable to deal with those people, but that's because we've turned them into a reflection of the parts of us that we're unable to deal with. Blame them for not being able to handle the very parts of ourselves we're trying to get away from. So, you're not a squirrel. Don't be a squirrel. The part of you that wants to get away from these things you don't understand, it's beautiful, wild aspect of what it means to be human. Don't hate it. Don't blame it. But point at it, separate yourself from it, and give yourself a chance to utilize this other option we have as humans, that is to be conscious. And stop vomiting out of control, subconsciously, below your level of awareness. Vomiting these things that you need to deal with onto other people that you care about. And don't blame yourself for it. Squirrels are cool, dude.